Welcome to The World Today on Channels Television. I am Amarachi Ubani. We're beginning the program today in Iraq, where residents in Tal Afar city say Sunni militants now have control over their city. Militants of the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant have been launching an offensive over major cities north of the country. The UN humanitarian chief, Valerie Amos, said there were reports of major human rights violations, including summary executions of civilians. And fighting in Tal Afar began on Sunday, but just before that, there had been shelling in Mosul and in Tikrit. The mortars have been shelling some districts as militants tried to enter the city, but the Iraqi government has been fighting back. Though the video and the pictures cannot be independently verified, they showed Sunni fighters massacring Iraqi soldiers. And if it proves to be true, could become the biggest single atrocity since the time of the American-led invasion of Iraq in 2003. But the Iraqi government claims to be making steady gains against the militants as well. Earlier today, the Defense Ministry released a video showing airstrikes conducted by Iraqi Air Force targeting Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant positions in Mosul and north of Baghdad. ISIL fighters and other Sunni Muslim armed groups have stormed towns on the road to Baghdad after seizing Mosul nearly a week ago. But the offensive stalled as it approached the main Shiite capital. The Iraqi military said it was now holding back the rebels and also with the help of Shiite militia clawing back some territory, probably responding to a call made by Iraq's most senior Shiite Muslim cleric, the Grand Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani, urging the followers to take up arms against the Sunni insurgency aimed at toppling Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. Hundreds of Shiite volunteers gathered in Basra and Baghdad on Saturday, declaring their readiness to fight the Sunni extremists. Meanwhile, Iraqis are fleeing major cities in their thousands. An estimated 500,000 people are said to have fled Mosul towards nearby Kurdistan region, where Iraq's ethnic Kurds have autonomy and their own large and disciplined military force, the Peshmerga. The violence in Iraq has raised international outcry. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said the U.S. was deeply concerned.
I know the President of the United States is prepared to make key decisions in short order, and as he made clear earlier, options are on the table right now.
NATO and the UN have condemned the violence as well. And despite critics blaming the 2003 Anglo-US invasion in Iraq for making things worse, former British Prime Minister Tony Blair said the Iraqi crisis would have happened regardless of his actions.
We have to look at Syria and Iraq and the region in context. We have to understand what's going on there, and we have to engage. And that doesn't mean, by the way, engagement as in Iraq or Afghanistan and ground troops, but it does mean that we actively try and shape this situation with our allies in the region and don't believe that if we just wash our hands of it and walk away, then the problems will be solved.
In the meantime, the U.S. says George H.W. Bush aircraft carrier is headed for the Gulf, accompanied by 2 more warships. But the U.S. says it will not be deploying U.S. troops on the ground in Iraq.